just so many fouls and stoppages each way, how did you guys kind of keep it centered and ultimately pull back in that fourth quarter?
It's a hard game, I think, for both teams to get into a rhythm, and this is not. Again, this is just a reflection on the game. This is not a critique of the officials. I actually thought they were consistent tonight, which is all you can really ask for. I think both teams have gotten used to playing a certain way in terms of physicality, and the game was just officiated differently. And that's not to say it was officiated poorly or if it was officiated great. It was just officiated differently. And so I think both teams just kind of got stuck in that cycle of this is how we've been taught to guard off-ball screens. And there was just a lot of touch fouls tonight, and it kind of disrupted the flow, I think, for both teams. I would say you look at that game, and a few things stand out. Number one, we didn't have our best stuff. I told you at halftime. I didn't realize until I woke up this morning. I wake up at 6:30 every morning. I woke up, and I was like, it was like a bus had hit me. And the cumulative effect of 3 or 4 nights, getting into a city at 3:30 a.m. Thank you, schedulers, for that. But the effect of that has a toll. It has a toll on the body, and I thought we came out flat. So we responded during that second quarter. We got ourselves going. The other thing was we had stretches where we played really good, and we had stretches where we played really poor. Our group is so connected right now. We were able to get back together, and there was no quitting, there was no splintering. It's a connected group. And the last thing I'll say is, I thought Rui made the 2 biggest plays of the game. Bo and I always joke, it's remarkable. He can go 8 minutes of a game, which sometimes can be 30 minutes of real time, not touch a basketball, literally not touch a ball, and then just bang a wide open 3. And he made that 3, which was huge. And then the charge on Wemby, I looked it up, his 8th charge of his entire career, and that, at least in my opinion, was the biggest one yet. So 2 big plays from Rui.
It looked like you threw all kinds of different looks at Wemby and saved a couple of blitzes late, and there's a one where he kind of throws it in the lane and Luka gets it. Yeah. What was the strategy, just kind of when you were switching up coverages on him?
No, we were consistent with our coverage. We didn't change any coverage on Wemby. We changed a little bit of stuff on Castle at one point just to keep Luka away from that matchup where he potentially could have picked up his 6th foul. We mixed in some zone when Wemby was off the floor. We did fire one time, and Sohan hit the corner 3. But with Wemby, they did a really good job of making sure he caught at the elbow. Mitch is a great coach. He knows what we do on the side, and it's harder to double when you catch it either at the nail or the elbow. And that play that we got the turnover when Lucas stole it and got fouled, that was in that mid-post area. So that's just our normal defense.
Luka only shot 33%, had some turnovers. It wasn't as sharp this game, but as you mentioned, you kind of found pockets where if the game got away from you, you could get it back. What did he show you tonight in the second half, particularly with obviously missing Austin again?
Yeah, I would say for him, and for the group, the word of the day is resiliency. And I thought he showed that in the second half, playing through some foul trouble, playing through what quite honestly was a frustrating, abnormal offensive night for him. He stayed with it. I thought the focus level with both the referees, and the focus with the referees, and just the focus with his teammates, and just getting on to the next play. And without Austin, without LeBron, his teammates are looking to him to kind of keep that resolve and keep that positive disposition, and he was able to do that throughout the game, which, look, that's an area of growth, and I thought he was great with that tonight.
So, you touched on this a little bit. You've used 7 starting lineups already. I'm pretty sure this time last year you hadn't had to deviate yet from your opening night lineup. How are you feeling about being able to scratch out wins with, different lineups every game at this point?
Yeah, I told you guys you were obsessed with the wrong thing during preseason. This is just the reality of the NBA. There's going to be so many soft tissue injuries. This is the reality of the NBA. We're gonna start the group that makes sense for that night, and we're gonna hopefully find a way to win.
JJ, you talked about Luka and his resiliency. Like defensively, I think 5 steals today, 2 blocks. Like, what did you see from him on that end of the floor, and also just throughout the season? Where do you feel like his defense is right now?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a couple games where he's gotten off to a slow start defensively, just in terms of his physicality and engagement. But overall, I think it's been really good. And to have 5 steals and 2 blocks on a night when you're in foul trouble, still staying active, still participating. Like there was nothing. There was a couple times, he gets switched on to Wemby, gets switched on to Castle. He's in a closeout with Vassell. There wasn't matador defense. He's still guarded, and that was huge. The reason we won the game, you can look at singular plays, you can look at whatever. The reason we won the game is because we guarded in the fourth quarter, and our fourth quarter defense was the number one reason we won the game.
You just mentioned the chemistry of the group and sort of the connectedness of them, and you also mentioned all the lineup changes back and forth. Those two things don't usually go together. This group feels, you just watch them on the floor, and they feel like such a unit, and they like each other so much. And we saw some of that last year, but we didn't see it all the time. Can you name what's different this year, or why from the very start they have felt like, they like playing with each other out there?
Doesn't always work this way, but sometimes the things you emphasize and the things that you make a daily priority becomes your team. And that doesn't always happen, but that was a priority for us coming into this season. And whether it's been, some off-court activities, the Pechakucha, we're just constantly encouraging and empowering our guys to get connected. I believe that if you're connected off the floor, you're connected on the floor. So you need buy-in to that. So it's not. I'm not trying to take credit for my staff here. It's the guys on the team. They're bought into that, and they're bought into being a like a group, a together group, and it's fun to coach. It's awesome.